Hello, I am James Brown, author of the Handbook of Program Management, here to talk about a requirements characterization checklist, 10 essential questions. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This is not true for requirements when it comes to determining if they are characterized properly. Inadequately characterized requirements are a primary driver for increased project costs, schedule delays, unnecessary risk, and ultimately project failure through inadequately met customer expectations. Here are 10 essential questions that will allow you to determine project requirements characterization. If there is not a good answer to one of the questions, then there is work required to resolve the discrepancy. Unfortunately, not performing or delaying this work for proper requirements characterization is common, especially when you have most of the information or what others deem adequate. The project then proceeds in the absence of this requirements characterization information, and the only thing surprising about the future problems this lack of information creates is the fact that people are surprised. Question 1. Does the requirement have a single point or outcome? Question 2, does the requirement have an owner and a sponsor? Question 3, is the requirement traceable to higher level requirements and ultimately the customer requirements? Question 4, is the requirement SMART? The essence SMART is for specific with no unambiguous terms with a minimum of a conjunction such as like, and, or, with, also, etc. The M in SMART is for measurable with primary and secondary measures. The A in SMART, in my definition, is for agreed upon. Stakeholders agree on the validity of the requirement. The R in SMART is for realistic. The requirement is achievable based on the technology and organizational constraints. The T in SMART is for time constrained, a date on when the requirement must be implemented. Question 5, is the requirement testable and at what levels? Component, subsystem, and a system level? Question 6, are the relationships, impacts, and interfaces between this requirement and other requirements understood and documented? Question 7, is there supporting documentation for the requirement? Question 8, are any assumptions, constraints, or exceptions that affect the validity or characteristic of the requirement documented and understood? Question 9, are the requirements risk understood and documented? Question 10, are the requirements relationships to any global and ancillary requirements understood? Ancillary requirements are availability, interfaces, external, internal, human, reliability, maintainability, transportability, safety, environmental boundaries, standards, logistics, training. The likelihood of project success increases when there is a common understanding among all stakeholders. Answering these questions for requirements characterization assures common understanding. As a project manager, getting this common understanding is not straightforward as simply asking questions. It requires skill in communication and a knowledge of human behavior. And I always found getting the answer a fun challenge. Hopefully you do too. For more information on my speaking services in project management, program management, and leadership, please go to www.cebasolutions.com.